Right, European Infantry Cup match, 33rd versus 45th N. Pretty fucking promising, I have to say. One of the more favorable matches, I would put, or exciting matches out of their group.
Two regiments that know how that all works.
Pretty much. Both have been around for a very long time. 45th N being slightly newer, but compared to the 33rd. I would say though, if you will look at the player base that both regiments are fielding at the moment, 45th N definitely will have a certain advantage in raw melee skill. Though in a 1v1, that means nothing if you can't get your line properly into melee.
See if we're going to be do we slay Venom for because he's not line infantry.
It is line infantry, I believe. The Marine class.
Marines.
Yeah, we could give out state out a warning, but I think nothing specifically was put out on the FSC rules that Marine class was forbidden. And I don't think that the Marine class gives you any more stats nowadays, or that must have been changed again. 45th Ender with a few cheeky shots, but not really in an angle, so hard to hit them. So we have 45th Enders playing as France, and the UK representing on the 33rd side. It's really nice to see that the 33rd brings out a good competitive lineup. Quite a few blobbing there from the 45th N. Oh, luckily no retaliation, but they're forming the line. Oh, shooting as well. 33rd clumped quite a bit, but no casualties on their side as well. Oh, 45th N forming up again. 33rd is moving. 2 casualties so far. Good shooting. Tim Leff here as well. Tim Leff very much a big veteran of the game. Been playing for ages as well. Oh, 33rd there with a center reform, as it looks like. Firing all of their shots, but in a horrible angle. Oh, this could be very punishing. And they're calling a retreat. Oh, they're now...
The line has split.
The line has split. It's
They're
good that
going,
they're going for melee.
some melee,
Yeah.
but they just weren't formed together.
No, they won't form together. We have to be wary with that though, because the rules do state that you can't have more than 2 to 3 men spacing whilst walking as a line, and that was just a complete formation that was broken off. 45th N really dominant here in the melee, but
The first team kill from Mathman.
love to see it.
We allow it, as you would say.
Yeah. Oh, this was already a meme at the start. Alright, so 1-0 now to the 45th N. As you can see already, like, even though the 33rd was down by a few due to the 45th N getting the better angle in shooting, the 45th N is just so much more dominant in melee, I think, overall with their lineup. If you just look at their players, Mr. T, Boboy, Tim Leff, Janne, Lone Doge as well, Flores, just to name a few of them, these guys are just really good competitive players. Overall, their melee as well is just insane, I have to say. Some of them really have their unique style of playing, and it works really, really well. Not 45th N dropping a few. They were allowed to +1, so I don't
They
know.
are allowed +1. But,
Boy, with a good shot.
a pack already
Oh,
on one of their stronger players.
Yeah, Stiglitz, the Swedish guy. That's very unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. That's a really strong play. And Melee for the 33rd just dropped there at distance by Boy. Good shot from him. I think at the moment the 33rd is being led by Kincaid. Oh, Papa Weimar with a good shot on Yovkov. So Kincaid will be at the front. Oh, and a massive shootout is erupting as I'm trying to look who is at the back of the 33rd.
Alec, but he just gets shot.
Alec, indeed. Right, so there are several gaps now, so you have to fix your reload, fix the gap, and then shoot again. And this has to be done all the way, otherwise slay can be occurring. 45th N do be getting the upper hand in the shooting, 33rd addressing us properly, getting a few kills as retaliation. But it's really just the 45th N who got the kills quicker off than the 33rd. Yeah, this round is already over again. At this point, there's no way you can bring it back from this point. Kincaid and Easy making their final last stand, but just being gunned down. Unfortunate.
Another decisive round for the 45th N.
Yeah, there's really no fucking about from these guys. I think Maskwin is leading at the front, and perhaps Mitchell will be at the back. Let's see, we have Water there as well. Yeah, Mitchell's at the back. Yeah, 45th N is fielding a really strong lineup, just overall. Like, you really have to whittle them down in shooting, and that's what the 33rd is trying to do now already, getting one hit in.
They got a hit. Try to play a bit more passively this round, you can see.
Yeah, I feel like the confidence that the 33rd had in the beginning stages of the round has whittled down quite a bit by just the dominant performance from the 45th N. So I can respect it. I mean, like, at some point you gotta change your tactics, try to shoot down the opponent a little bit more, to see if you can get an upper hand by shooting at distance. You know, some people might call it camping, but this wasn't camping. This was just trying your luck, try to get a good shot in. And yeah, 33rd got a hit, but no kill, sadly. 45th M breaking for melee, I believe. Yeah, they're playing it very aggressively, backing off, trying to line up for a shot. Wow, and a pistol kill there as well from Maskman. That is very unfortunate for the 33rd, already down by 2, giving them a -3 on the balance. It's really hard. The 33rd is playing a bit, I don't know. I feel like they're playing quite well, but it's just getting unlucky here. And the 45th N are just really outperforming them. And yeah, again, the angles again for the 45th N, really brilliant. 33rd clumping. You can tell that this is just not their match at the moment.
We're just not having
Like
any luck.
Oh,
they're
the good volley from the 33rd though. Brilliant
breaking
volley.
for melee.
Yeah, it's fairly even now. They're only down by 2, but again, this is a dominant performance from 45th N in melee, so let's see how that goes through this round. Yeah, you can already tell it's just
Quite a lot of red are just.
Yeah. 35th is just being broken. The line is completely shattered at the beginning of the melee, and the 45th N just takes full advantage of that. Go for the backstab, side stabs, and yeah, just the overall performance from them is just so much more dominant. Deadfall making a pretty good last stand here, but sadly it's get taken down as their 45th N takes the 3rd round.
Quite convincingly, like all rounds have been convincingly.
Yeah. It was really lucky that the 45th N didn't hit their shots at the back when they were forming up, because otherwise the 35th would have never been able to retaliate with such a good volley. But props to them, you know. They lined up, they got the shots back in, made it almost drew it evenly again. But yeah, just sadly, the sheer dominance that the 45th N is performing here in melee is just hard to beat at this point. And Mossman is playing this perfectly into the strength of his regiment, you know. Like, he knows his regiment has the lead in terms of melee, and why wouldn't you take use of that, you know? If you know that shooting is a bit luck-based at this point, but also a bit in, like, certain forming the line and stuff like that, it just really is just trying to get your line in that position, maybe get a few shots off, and then just straight away go for melee, because it will just play in the hands of the 45th N. I'm really wondering what the 33rd will be doing at this point now, because, you know, keeping them at distance so far hasn't really worked. They're forming up now. See if they can get a few shots off. But even if they would fire now a whole volley, the 45th N could just hold, get themselves a good angle, and retaliate. Yeah, see, 33rd is now without shots. 45th N is following up. A few more seconds and the 33rd would have the reloads in, but the 45th N is all just already pouring it straight at them. Getting 3, 4, 5 kills already. And 33rd is just not retaliating.
They're not getting the kills back. They're getting a couple here and there, but not to the extent that 45th N are getting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, look, there's another 5. 6.
Yeah, there's literally
6 to the one that they got.
Yeah. There's literally no shot that's being hit at the moment by the 33rd, really, apart from the few occasional hits. The 45th N just, you know, had the better line up immediately. Start pouring it down at their opponent whilst they were still grabbing their reloads. Oh, there was officer aim, though, from Venom, which isn't allowed. At any point given, you're not allowed to shoot the commanding officer unless it is in a charge. And the melee has erupted. Poor King Kate making his final stand here against the 45th N. Getting kicked and killed by Lone Dodge. Yeah, what can you do?
Another convincing round. Like, there was, what, 3 kills they got?
Yeah.
Here?
It was just a really decisive round again for the 45th N. It really just, you know, played into the part of, you know, the 45th N just getting that line quicker than the 33rd. Because technically the 33rd did get their line off sooner, but the line was still moving from the 45th N, and they weren't in, like, a good angle to shoot at them. And they weren't at a great distance as well, because the maps, you know, they're being played on medium maps, which relatively means that you can get in quite quickly. Oh, hit there from the 45th N, who did a volley at range. It's just really, you know, if you do it at this point, like as the 31st is going to do now, like try to shoot from, you know, the ridge that they have from this teeny tiny hill, which only gives them really their heads that's being shown to the 45th N. You can fire a few volleys, but it's so easy to avoid as well, because you can already tell 45th N is just now moving off towards the flank already of the 33rd, going behind the bigger hill on the bigger ridge. 33rd getting the reloads in and then moving out again. But yeah, just no luck there. 45th then have one AFK who just returned. And AFK again and just returned. Oh, lovely.
He's back now.
Yeah. For a match which I expected to be pretty evenly, the 33rd is just having no luck at the moment. And it's also just a very dominant lineup that the 45th has. Oh, there was a bit of a confusing command, I think, that was given by the 33rd, because a few members did a reverse and then decided against that. Oh, same from the 45th end, quite a clumped reverse. But they're not taking advantage of it. And the line now as well from the 45th end is quite tightly packed, and the 33rd one is quite spread. So 33rd was trying to take advantage there from it and get a few
Get no
volleys off.
kills though.
No kills, no. Oh, this is going to be, again, a few shots from the 45th end. Going Crying Noob is down. Shot by Jacob, a German player. Good shot though. Was at a moving line, but yeah, again, it's the clumps that get you, man. It's the clumps that get you. A reverse column from the 33rd, but the 45th
end coming in for melee. Oh no, they're backing off.
Alright, they got it.
No, they're going for it.
They got it. So at this point, the 33rd is pushing the right flank of the 45th end, and vice versa, the 45th end is pushing the right flank of the 33rd. The 33rd is in the full retreat. Kincaid is getting caught there and dies. The middle's being broken. A few team kills. Good Green, again, team kills. But the melee seems...
Another couple of team kills.
Well, it's still very much in the open at this point. But no,
the overwhelming number advantage gets them. They just get backstabbed.
Yeah. Again, from that melee where it was just evenly, the 33rd had 18 people alive and the 45th end had 20 people alive, and they were still left with only 8. You know, that's, I don't know, it's just a very dominant performance. Even if the team kills wouldn't have happened, you know, that would have been just a huge difference. And we're now at the side swap. 33rd will be playing as Emperor France, and the 45th end will now play as the United Kingdom. Let's see. Is it live? Yes, it is again live.
Both teams started moving out, so
yeah,
if they're ready, then you just got to go.
Yeah, exactly. Right, 33rd now has a slight advantage of reaching the bigger hill at first.
And they bring it back in the second half.
Yeah, they could. It could still theoretically become a 5-5 if the 33rd just plays their hearts out and the 45th end makes a few mistakes. But what I've seen so far, it really is not the case where they do a ripple reformation to the left and right of Kincaid. This is a very dodgy maneuver that you can do, because if an officer aim does occur now, it technically
he's in the line.
He's in the line and it wouldn't be an officer aim. But there were again no hits or kills there from the 33rd. Very sad to see. 33rd forming up now, getting two good kills. S-Hype and Venom. Two players that played the first half really, really well. 33rd is now devastating fully.
Quite a lot of strong players.
A lot of that players there. But the 45th end
Oh, they're bringing it back.
Yeah, they can pick up all the musket of the dead people, and they're just retaliating. It's a fucking machine gun, man. The 33rd line is just absolutely in shatters. They're trying to reform. They're going for melee now.
Coming for the melee.
It's 12v8. They're down by 4, and where the performance of the 45th end has been already so dominant throughout the entire melee, this doesn't look good for the 33rd. And the 45th end takes another round with only Dead Wolf remaining to make a last stand, asking for duels. I don't know if the 45th end is going to honor this. To be honest, they might just make a bully circle and try to kill him, and he's dead. Right, so that means it's 6-0, and in the European Infantry Cup rules, it's best out of 10. Mouseman is already asking now for a not R, because he probably wants to swap in the people he has spectator now, which is a very fair thing to do, to be honest, because they're fielding such a big lineup at the moment. At the beginning of the event, you could already see that over 30 of them were on the server. So yeah, it's a not live round. They're swapping new people in to play, and we'll see how that is going to, make their performance look like throughout the second half. But they already have the 6-0, which means they already got the 3 points in the European Infantry Cup League. So they can do it. You don't always have to play for all of the rounds, and perhaps this makes this a little bit more evenly for the 33rd. But still, the lineup that the few people that swapped out now from the 45th end were a few Grenadiers. I think mostly Grenadiers actually. but they're still fielding a strong team of, you know, perhaps center company players. So yeah, I think this is a very honorable thing to do, to get all of your players involved into the game, get them to play together.
Getting them involved. Oh, then it's there.
Oh god, yeah, I said it, didn't I? No, but all jokes aside, we can go live on reset because Marsman said he was ready, so we'll just do a reset and get it going. I'll competitive go mode to false and reset. Right, and we're gonna continue. It's 6-0 at the moment for the 45th N. 33rd could still get 4 rounds in, and you have to understand that in a European Infantry Cup, every round kind of still does matter. So if the 33rd still gets 4 rounds in, and they tie with another regiment out of the group they're currently playing in, this will mean that they would still will be looking at the amount of rounds each regiment has won. So if the 33rd then comes on top because they still managed to get 4 rounds in the 45th N and played really well against other regiments and got also many rounds out of that, that could mean they could still advance through the group. Though I have to say this is still one of the first matches being played in the European Infantry Cup match. So it really is too soon to tell if the 33rd really needs the rounds. They might lose this match, but they might be able to take all the other matches next, because the groups are quite evenly balanced, with each group having a few dominant regiments, which I consider the 33rd to be part of one as well. But you always have that one regiment that will outclass you a little bit. There's a bit of reloading out of line going on there with the 45th N member, Edward Hay. Edward, don't reload off. We do have to enforce the rules here as well, because the entire line was already on the move and he was just standing there in the open. 45th N hitting again a good volley, but the 33rd, are they going for melee? No. 33rd is forming the line. They're going to try to shoot. Yeah, alright, they shot marksman. That's completely allowed. They're not melee yet, and now they are
melee now.
It was a close call for Fig, but no casualties will make after the first engagement in melee. 33rd is getting a fair few kills already in the beginning stages. Actually, they're definitely taking this one. The right-hand side of the 33rd is pushing heavy into the 45th N. There's going a 2v1 over here, up and down. The most effective way to bring somebody down, but 45th N just really has some veteran players still left alive, like Boboy and Lone Dodge, who are making quite the impact at the moment. Mitchell goes down.
Only down by 1.
There's 6v7, only down by 1. If they can regroup and push on the left, as they're doing now, they're trying to get one. And Janne goes down, and Timlev goes down. Very much veterans of this game, and they've both been brought down by Dead Wolf, who's also a pretty good player of his own. Crying Noob goes down by Boboy, and it's now a 5v5, but the 33rd is in quite precarious situation.
Team kill.
Oh, this is not looking too good. The team kill is quite devastating. And the 45th N is just pushing in on the flanks of the 33rd. They're surrounding them, because they're really just clumped way too much. They're trying to push out to one guy. Boboy killing Dead Wolf at range. A well-timed stab and kick there, and it's all over again. You could really tell that just the few individual players, such as Boboy and Lone Dodge, can really make the difference in one round, because just in this one round they killed 9 players of the 33rd. That's almost like half of what the 33rd is fielding at this point. So that was well performed from them. But this was a closer round than what we had before, though. 33rd almost brought that home within the melee. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Boboy now going to spectate, as it seems, and Mr. T jumping back in. And Nadim jumping back in as well. So we got a swap for Boboy for our revive. We can't do that.
Past the 30, isn't it?
Was after 30 mark. So it's on their regards that they... if you want to swap a player, you should do that like prior to the round starting. Otherwise you might have it that the player's not going to spawn in. And it would be quite, well, as I would put it, unfair to the 33rd if you would revive somebody and make their balance even worse, even though it is allowed to be outnumbered by 1. We like to keep things fair, and this was the fair call to make. For the 45th N are quite spaced out.
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, 33rd is forming up the line, but officer aim there on Marsman. Again, it's not allowed. 33rd hitting good shots. They're waiting really carefully for the 45th N to form the line. And then the 33rd is shooting them. But a lot of the people that the 33rd just shot of the 45th N had loaded muskets. 33rd will have their reloads in first, but they're just not hitting quite their shots. It's at this point 12v13. 33rd is now taking the lead with a 2-man advantage. Some of the 45th N does have reloads at this point. They're getting the kills in. Already 3 kills, 4 kills. Alright, yeah, 45th N did get a good volley in there. 33rd is now fixing gaps and retaliating with a volley. It's now 8v8. This is really, really even. This still can go either way. 45th N really has to fix those gaps better because it's just quite spread out. But same applies to the 33rd. This is just going either way. Like, you really... don't crouch. Time. Right.
45th N going for the melee.
45th N going for the melee, but 35th has reloads. If they shoot now, yeah, they shot Marsman. And they're now going for melee. It's now Mitchell, S-Hype and Gringo with the 45th N making the last stand against the 33rd. Mitchell taking down Giorno. But 33rd will be able to take this round quite easily now. S-Hype is making his last stand. But I think it's to no avail at this point. 33rd is trying to fist him as well. But no success there.
Picking up 1 round.
Yeah, they're picking up 1 round. And it was a really good round there. I feel like if the 33rd would have played more like this, where they got these good volleys in with a good angle on your opponent, because that is something that people just tend to forget so many times. If you get the right angle on your opponent line, you can do so much more damage in terms of shooting than when you're like off center, as I would like to put it. Yeah, you only create more targets for the enemy to shoot, where 1 bullet could normally only kill 1 player. At this point, it would very much seem that they can then probably kill 2 players, even though the bullet is still going to kill 1. It creates 2 possible targets for that bullet to kill if the angle is not, directly onto your enemy. Again, 33rd is doing a ripple reform to his left and right. Kincaid is getting out of the way because it's the 45th M shoot him. It's not Opus aim. 33rd lining up, presenting their shots, but moving out. Did get their reloads in, forming up the line again, aiming for the clump of the 45th N. And the
two packs.
Yeah, 45th N did a good reverse there. Got the 33rd off guard. Regaining 2 kills there, quite close. It's still very much even, with the 45th N only having a 1-man advantage. 33rd doing an about phase. 33rd also still having the somewhat of the high ground here. And they're forming up again. 33rd not taking the shot into the backs of the 45th N as they try to run away. And again with another reverse column. 33rd lining up and a brilliant shot there, killing Mitchell there at the back of the command. That really is going to hamper their performance quite a bit, I believe. The rock is in the way of the 33rd at this very moment, and the angle is in the favor of the 45th N, as you can see right now. Oh, 33rd is going in.
Pushing for the melee.
Alright, and they have a 3-man advantage. It's a fair thing to do. They got a good volley off. They're pushing in hard on the left. 45th N is on the back foot right now. The center of the 45th N is getting caught off, with Wolfie going down and Gringo following suit.
Marsman with the kick.
Marsman with the kick and kill, and Marsman going in behind on the 33rd, but is being caught off by, who is this fella? Arifa, who's going to be backstabbed by Mystic Achilles. Quite unfortunate. No call out.
Still up by 3 though.
Still up by 3 in the 33rd. Really should try to regroup and not go for the individual fights. A 45th M member here is now cut off. Timlef going down. Unfortunate. It's now a 4-man advantage. 5-man advantage as Dom goes down for the 33rd. And the 45th N is just running away at the melee at this point. I don't really know what you want to try to achieve at this point by running away, because you're just going to get split off.
Yeah. Packs are going to get made.
Yeah, exactly. Marsman and both Lone Dutch are now dead. 33rd.
Kelly's with that pack.
Yeah, but 33rd will still be able to take this round, I believe. They just have the overwhelming numbers that the 45th N had the first half so many times. But the 33rd is really putting up a good fight now and starting to realize how to fight the 45th N with close volleys and then just the melee following in pursuit. Really well done. And I believe we arrived at the final round, are we not, Uni?
Yes, this is
the final round.
This is the last one.
Because 1 round already had been played. So at the moment it's now 7-2 to the 45th N. We had to do a reset, so we have to remind ourselves. Marsman is saying not R, meaning not ready, not live. Marsman would like to have a reset. As this is right, we can always reset. Yeah. Of course. We're gonna do another reset on life. No particular reason why the 45th N did this. Not quite sure on that. Perhaps somebody DC'd. Perhaps they wanted to switch the officer for the last round. Not quite sure. Whatever his reasons are, it is within his right to ask. As we have reached the final round after the final reset. 45th N immediately moving towards the middle of the map in what really isn't a line formation. More of a skirm formation at the very fucking moment. 33rd does have a good line. 45th N really should try to...
There is an attempt at a wing by some that it loses it.
It's being slightly corrected right now. It's alright. 33rd really is in a good position to shoot now. If they get some kills in, it was really well. Mystic Achilles going down in the middle. Gringo going down. Yeah, 45th N was way too clumped there at the moment. Oh, and
Flores.
Yeah,
3 strong players.
3 very strong players just went down in the shooting by the 33rd. Well played from King K to line up his men over there. It's now 18v20 in the advantage of the 33rd, who are now winging away. 45th N doing a reverse, but again the clumps. Oh, what are they doing? This is going to be punishing. 33rd is just lining up the kills now. This is really not going well.
7 packs in total from.
Oh man, 45th
just
N really
poor formations.
45th N is now trying to. Oh man, 45th N is trying to just reform the men and trying to retaliate in the shooting, but the 33rd has such a massive advantage.
They get one, but they're getting packed.
They're getting destroyed by the 33rd. I don't know what the reasoning was for this.
They have swapped officer.
Who's at the moment the officer?
It is Lone Dog.
Ah, I see. It's a bit of a meme, I suppose, then that Lone Dog will be picked as officer as he is leading by voice commands. But yeah, fair enough. 45th N will be losing this round as the 33rd took a massive advantage there with simply outshooting them, and the 45th N just clumping way too much, making this an European Infantry Cup match probably a 7-3 in a moment. As the last few remaining people from the 45th N, both Mitchell and Mr. T, are making a run for it to seek the high ground to make a last stand. Oh, Mr. T
goes for a spin, but he's split himself off.
They're just running away at this point. If they continue to run away, we'll be forced to ask them to stop doing that. Mitchell getting a kill, but there you have it, people. 45th N is victorious throughout this entire European Infantry Cup match. They're taking the 3 points away, and it is a 7-3 win to them.